Hey, it's Mark, RPM Tesla, Model S owners, new Model S owners, plaid and long range. Check out our new front end lip. This is all ABS plastic. It's available in satin black, as shown here, and also glossy black. Glossy black is great because it matches all of the interior or the exterior trim. All the door panels have glossy black. A lot of our carbon fiber is available in glossy black, wheels. But all the standard glossy black trim will look great. You can go with satin black if you like satin black. But now we're going to show you some more details and get right into the installation. But basically it's a nice three-piece kit, 3 separate pieces. It's got a very aggressive front lip that goes all the way into the radiator opening, comes out and wraps around. The sides extend to protruded areas below the turn signals and the canard area. And again, this is our first item for the Model S. We're also going to make this in full carbon, side skirts, rear diffuser, full aero kits coming out, but the front lip is in stock now. So let's move on to installation. Okay, Model S owners, now we're going to do the installation for the ABS plastic 3-piece Model S plaid and long range 21 and newer front lip splitter spoiler. So you'll notice we got 3 pieces. So we'll go over the overall thing. Overall, to begin with, we've got 2 packets of adhesive promoter. So after you clean any mating area where tape's going to go, you're going to use one of these on each side. We've got 13 or 14 screws. And like the instruction manual shows, which is really nice, you're going to use 4 screws on each arm. So 4 on the right arm, 4 on the left arm, and nothing on the front piece. The front piece is just double-sided tape. So that's the overall. Also, you need only a screwdriver, and again, you're going to put 4 small holes way underneath, never visible underneath the front lip. And if you want the RPM Tesla dome sticker right on top, we'll show you how to put that on. So let's get started now. Like we mentioned, the front lip is only going to be double-sided tape, no screws. However, we're going to connect it to the right and left sides. So we're going to put the long screws, the silver screws, into here. That's going to connect the pieces. We're going to connect all the pieces first, then we're going to test fit it. Then we're going to show you underneath on the right and left side where we have marked 4 holes. 1, 2, 3, 4. So these are the 4 minimum holes you need to do. It's really going to hold pressure against here and hold this on at high speeds. We do give you extras, and we do have pre-drilled locations if you want to add extra. We'll show you that in detail as we go. First thing we're going to do now is connect it with the silver screws, and I'm going to film that. You can use a regular screwdriver or a power screwdriver. Then we're going to test fit it on the car. So we recommend you don't install anything without test fitting it. Make sure you love how it fits, you like how it sits, and you like the look, and you're happy with everything. Okay, let's start with the actual installation now. Okay, we've got all 3 pieces and we've turned them all over. So now we're going to start with the right side. And what we're going to do is just simply level it out nice and flat, put the screws in. We'll put them about 3/4 of the way on. We'll check the flushness on the other side, and then we will do the same thing on the passenger side. Okay, now we're going to look at how flush the two pieces meet up and make sure the surface is nice, smooth, minimal gap. Okay, looks great. Again, you have a chance to adjust the front and back pieces at this point. But the important thing is just to tighten them all up once you're satisfied. So we'll just grab this and loosen it a little bit and hand tighten. We don't recommend a power tool because you don't want to strip these threads because the threads are just self-created in plastic. Okay, other side. And we're going to test fit it. So see how I'm squeezing this together? Just keep this nice and tight so it's nice and flush. And we're going to go all the way down. Again, once you get exactly where you want, hand tighten these guys up. And now we're not going to remove any tape at all. You notice there's two big strips on the bottom, and two big strips on the bottom and two on the top. So what we recommend is you switch. You take it up to the car like this. Just hold it like this in your hand. Nothing's going to bend or twist it apart. And on the Model S, we've got this great big front lip. So just sit it right up on here like this, putting this piece under. You can test fit it. So at this point, you can see exactly how it fits. You can move it a little bit right and left, then come over to the side, and just watch how this matches up. How we have this horizontal fin right in front of the wheel that you can see from the front. And again, this you're going to make nice and vertical before we attach it with a double-sided tape, and then the 4 screws. So it fits really nice. It fits all the way around here. Notice on the fender or the wheel opening, you can make it nice and flush, hold it in place. Check the other side. This will really help you to center it because you want to be centered here and here, about 1 finger width in the opening. And then same thing on this side. So the fitment is great. You know, this is all injection molded ABS plastic. You know, you get to pick the height you want. You don't want to be too far under. You want it nice and high. You want to make sure none of the tape is visible. And it looks great. And again, here, same thing. Just bring it right out to the front, nice and centered. And then when you come back here, you'll be centered here. So now we're going to move forward with removing the tape, prepping the surface, cleaning all the contact areas with alcohol and all of them with adhesive promoter. We'll stick it in place and then we'll put the screws in. Okay, use rubbing alcohol, isopropanol, and if you have any ceramic coatings on your car or wax or anything, magic eraser is great. It'll really help take off. And you know when it's clean, when you hear that squeak, that it's removed the coating. And underneath, this whole side has to be cleaned with alcohol and this ceramic coating remover before we stick it on. So all double-sided tape's gonna go on here and then under here. So spray it with alcohol, wipe it down good, and again, use a magic eraser or something that will take off any kind of coatings if you have anything on your car. It's gonna be squeaky clean to get a nice strong bond. Okay, we're gonna finish this up so we can start the installation. Okay, with the adhesive promoter now, we're gonna promote the tape locations underneath the front lip, and this is on the painted area, okay? So we wanna go across here and all the way across the bottom. Anywhere where the double-sided tape is gonna stick, and then of course the screws are gonna go into the plastic area below. Okay, so do this on the right side and the left side. That's why we give you 2 packets. Okay, now we recommend not using adhesive promoter for this contact area on top. The double-sided tape is very strong. So first take off the 4 small pieces on the ends. And again, we need the ability to slightly move this back and forth once we put it on. So now you'll notice that we're going to put 1 piece out here, and we're going to put 1 piece out the front. So this will allow us to fine-tune the final location before the double-sided tape starts to adhere. So we want to have it sticking out enough. Okay, so now watch this. We're just going to set it right up on top, just like this, and move it around. Remember, all the tape here is still intact, so we don't have to worry about the side pieces. We're just going to worry about centering it, pushing it all the way in. You'll notice that we're going all the way in to the back, like this. And then we're going to measure this distance and this distance. And then we're going to take a look at this, make sure this is going to reach and flex, looks good. So again, it's about the diameter of a pinky finger. About the diameter of a pinky finger to determine if you're completely centered. You also can use these lines as a guide. From the end of this protruding area to this is about 1/4 inch, and everything looks good. Okay, so now we're going to lift it up, pull this tape out here, lift it back, and get this piece of tape out. and put it back in place. So you should be looking just like this when you're trying to determine your final location. And again, this small gap there is the same as this. Slightly to the side a little bit. It starts to grab really quick. All right, so this looks good here and here. So now we have picked this to be the final mounting location for the centerpiece with the two pieces hanging. So now we want to pull this tape out, and notice it's underneath. So the lip does hang over the painted area. Pull all the way out. And again, one of the things we like to remind people of, just tug it. Don't pull it too hard because you don't want it to snap. So notice that this tape stretches a little bit, and as long as there's no pressure on it, it's going to let go. So we put a little pressure on it, pull it all the way across. It's really sticking nicely all the way to the end. Lift it up a little bit if you have to. Just get it all the way off in the back. Okay, now you want to use a towel because you don't want to scratch up the glossy paint. So you want to use a towel, and we're just pushing this down, applying pressure to the pressure-sensitive adhesive tape. And again, this is only on the top. So now we're done. So now we can pick a side, either the driver's side or the passenger side. And we're going to come over here. So now we've got some tape underneath. We're going to pick it. We're going to make sure that we like the alignment. We're going to line it up like this. We're going to make sure that it's going to hold good. We're going to look at the gap on the side, and everything looks great. Okay, so let's move over to the other side real quick. Okay, we've got the light on, and now we're going to do the final piece here. Remember, we're going to put some screws in here afterwards. So what we recommend now is you use a pick, twist this a little bit, and loosen up these 3 strands of adhesive tape backing, or the red backing liner as we call it. And pull that all the way out of there, and then get these 2. So we're going to get it in this final exact position, and then we're going to reinforce it with some screws. You also could use rivets if you own a rivet gun, and it'll have a cleaner look, but again, it's pretty hard to see under our front lips on the Model S's. All right, so now we're going to take it in our hand like this, and remember, we've got this flexibility, and we've got this pullability. We want to line it up with this fender liner. So now is your only chance to pick your height. And the curve, or the radius of this piece underneath, is designed to fit perfect, but you don't want to be too low. You don't want to put this down like this, and you don't want to put it up too high. So you don't want to let the tape grab either, showing this. All right, so now I've got it away, and I'm pulling it a little bit, pulling it away from the car so I have a chance to line it up. I'm trying to put it right below the equator here and push this right on like this. And now I'm going to go up from this side and push from underneath. So watch, as we push up, that adhesive promoter is grabbing, and it's really holding strong. Look at that, there's no screws in it now, and it's locked down. And again, you want to make sure you're nice and high enough, and then we're going to put the screws in next. So let's swing over to this side. We'll take the tape off and be right back. Okay, grab the red tape and pull it all the way out, up there and down here. Okay, so now it's all about alignment. So remember what we're doing here. We don't want to get close and let it grab. You want to keep your fingers between it and pull. Check this side here. Look at the equator, so to speak, and make sure you're going right up to it as high as possible. So it should come off nice and smooth. Then you've got more time here to go around and up and underneath, and then press. So if you have a nice smooth transition from the white to the black, it's going to hold good on good. And you should see a little gap here where it's going to be sitting just like this after you screw it in. So the vertical flanges look great. Everything looks good. Again, this key is this gap and this gap need to be the same. And the glossy black looks great. Okay, if you need to move it or adjust it, it's tough, but you could warm it up, heat it up, pull it down if you really make a radical mistake. But again, it's all personal taste. As long as it's on here good, you can't tell if this side and that side are at the same exact spot. Just look at it overall and stand back. Okay, now we're going to get to the fasteners and putting the screws in. Okay, now we did some adjusting on the right side. We want to make sure we were below the equator. So there's a lot of room underneath here, and you'll see right where the screw holes are, where we're going to go into, and how we're not into the painted surface. So that's for under the vertical flange. Then you come around here. So everything's looking good. We got our emblem on. And same thing on this side. We ended up pulling it down a little bit just to tuck it under. And that's how you know the vertical flange there has to be straight up and down. That'll help you determine the line. Now we're going to look at the screws underneath and talk about what we're going to be tapping and putting in. So obviously these two on the sides, straight into this softer plastic. Then we're going to hit this one up above and this one. So we're going to use 4 screws. And let me turn on the light real quick. Okay, so now we got the light on, and again, there's nothing to do in the front. We're going to start off with this one here, and we'll just use our self-tapping blue screw and bring it all the way up. Now these here are definitely going to go into the white paint, so we don't recommend them. And now we've got these two, and then this one here. So let's hit the other outside ones. We'll see. Just get it nice and snug. So you might want to just do the 3. Again, the optional ones are going to be these. So we got one pre-molded piece here, which definitely goes into the white paint. So does this one, and so does this one. But we installed 3 on our prototype. We taped it up good, and we didn't have any issues even at speeds over 100 miles an hour. But again, don't speed. It's not guaranteed over the speed limit, of course. But again, these are optional screws you can do if you want. Do the same thing on that side, and you're all set. One thing, notice this is definitely hard ABS plastic. This is a rubberized TPR. So there is some flexibility here. There's probably access here to get into the front end when you take the fender liner out. But it did hold well. There were no issues. And now we're just gonna finish up this side. And then that one's done, and those 2. So that's it, enjoy, thanks again. It's RPM Tesla, and you'll love the new glossy and satin black 2021 Model S front lip. Affordable, reasonable, not expensive to ship, and they're in stock.